republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, yeah, that.
Yeah, it didn't look. Thanks. Okay, tonight we have a special presentation to Mike and Melanie Bushy. The board got a plaque together. It says, presented to Michael and Melanie Bushy in grateful recognition of a combined 37 years of dedicated service to the school children of Rouses Point. Your diligence as crossing guards ensured that they were always kept safe. And on behalf of the village board and the village, we thank you for this.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
You'll be missed. Now, you don't have to stay for the rest of the meeting if you don't want to. You know?
Our daughter's waiting out in the car.
Okay, yeah, it's understood when we give these presentations.
And thank you, everyone.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for
Yeah.
your
Thank
service.
you.
No, I was waiting for them, I was putting the, down there. Perfect, thank you.
Thank you.
Your resignation. Oh, that's tears. It was the sweetest thing I ever heard.
Okay, I'll open the meeting to the public, the rest of the board on any topic. You'll have another chance at the end of the meeting. Anyone? Okay, minutes of previous meetings. We had a meeting on July 20th, regular meeting, and a special meeting on July 30th. Does anyone on the board know any errors or omissions?
I make a motion, we accept the minutes as written.
Second.
Okay, a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Okay, bills. Our son?
There's no additions or deletions this evening.
Okay, board have any comment on the bills?
Make a motion to pay bills as written.
Second?
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. Is there any correspondence?
Yeah, there is actually. I got an emailed letter from the library board. If I can open my email. Dear Village Board of Trustees, the library board has hired Ann Paulson as the library director starting August 3rd, 2020. Respectfully, Mary O'Connor, library board president.
And that's for informational purposes?
Yes.
Okay. Anything else?
No, that's it.
Okay, I have a reauthorization of Resolution 2020-04, Inspectors of Elections. Whereas pursuant to Article 15, Section 116 of the New York State Election Law, Board of Trustees, Village Rouses Point is charged with adopting a resolution appointing the Inspectors of Election and a chairperson. Therefore, the Board of Trustees of Village Rouses Point does hereby resolve that the Inspectors of Election shall be Mary Rassico, Chief Inspector, Muriel Lefebvre, Inspector, Claude Letourneau, Inspector, Nancy Baker, Inspector, Elise Brad, Inspector, and Susan Sullivan, alternate. Compensation shall be fixed at $13.27 for the election chairperson and $12.46 per hour for the inspectors. This resolution shall take effect immediately. I move it to the floor for a second.
Second.
Okay, roll call vote. Trustee Arno?
Aye.
Trustee Dart?
Aye.
Trustee Menard?
Aye.
Trustee Gadway?
Aye.
Mayor votes aye. And the next one I have is polling places, resolution reauthorizing the 2020-10 polling places hours and nominees. Whereas the next general election for the Village of Rouses Point shall be held on September 15th. Whereas the Board of Trustees is required to adopt a resolution designating the polling places hours, the polls shall be open and the addresses of those nominated. Now therefore be it resolved that the Board of Trustees of the Village of Rouses Point designates the polling place for each election district to be Halsted Hall, Rouses Point Civic Center, 39 Lake Street, Rouses Point, New York, that the hours during which the polls shall be open shall be 12 noon till 9 p.m., and the candidates nominated for the offices in accordance with provision Article 15 of Village Election Law are Ron LeBlanc, Rouses Point, nominated for the office of mayor, 2-year term. Jedediah Thone, Rouses Point, nominated for the office of mayor for 2-year term. Benjamin Arno, Rouses Point, nominated for office of trustee, 2-year term. Thomas Dart, nominated for office of trustee, 2-year term. Brian Pelkey, Rouses Point, nominated for office of trustee, 2-year term. Be it further resolved that the village clerk is hereby directed to publish this resolution in full in the Press Republican and to post a copy of this resolution in at least 6 conspicuous public places within the village on or before September 5th. This resolution shall take effect immediately, and I move that to the floor for a second.
Second.
Okay, roll call vote. Trustee Menard.
Aye.
Trustee Arno.
Aye.
Trustee Dart.
Aye.
Trustee Gadway.
Aye.
And the mayor votes aye. Okay, now I have Resolution 2020-26, Water Rates Resolution. Whereas the Board of Trustees of the Village of Rouses Point deems it necessary to amend the water rates to reflect current water department operations as follows. Effective June 1st, WC2A monthly metered rate is $49.75 plus 55 cents per 1,000 gallons consumed. WC1A monthly flat rate is $49.75 per month. Outside the village monthly, double the above rates. Definitions: WC3 water rate industrial, use expected over 1 million gallons per month. Each industrial customer shall have an individually determined rate. WC2A water rate metered rate shall apply to any business or commercial enterprise expected to use over 1,000 gallons in any 1 month and less than 1 million gallons. And WC1A water rate is the flat rate, shall include each household, whether an apartment unit, mobile home, or private residence. Any commercial or business unit expected to use less than 5,000 gallons per month shall be charged WC1A rate. In any event that the expected use cannot be readily estimated, the business shall be metered and shall be subject to WC3 or WC2A rates depending on actual use. I move that to the floor for a second.
You said, just a second, you said on the WC2A, you said 1,000 gallons. Reads here 5,000.
Over 5,000 gallons.
Over
Less than
5,000,
Yeah,
yeah.
you said 1,000.
Did I say 1,000?
Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
staying correct, it's 5,000 gallons to be metered. If you use less than that, it's flat.
Okay.
Okay,
I second the motion.
okay. Roll call vote, trustee Arnold.
Aye.
Trustee Dart.
Aye.
Trustee Menard.
Aye.
Trustee Gadway.
Aye.
Mayor votes aye. Okay, the update on the Chapman Street poles and underground placement of wires. This is for the telephone company. As we know, Chapman Street is the only street in the village that has not had its telephone wires buried underground and the poles removed. The village completed all the excavation and conduit installation over 10 years ago, as well as burying our own equipment. Only Champlain Telephone Company work remains to be done. I have been in discussion with CTC for 2 years now on this topic. The problem they insisted was that fiber optic cable would cost over $300,000, and they had previously been asking for village financial assistance. I explained that it was not legal to use public funds or electric department revenues to subsidize private sector businesses, and we were unaware of any potential grant funds available. This spring, I re-engaged talks with a CTC representative and found out that things have changed. With the sale of Prime Link, CTC now has funds for the project. Unfortunately, due to the COVID-19, their bank closing date to consume this transfer has been delayed until mid-August. After that event occurs, they will be able to order all the material and begin the project. So they're expecting to do it this fall. They were expecting to do it right now, and it's delayed about a month. Project duration is estimated to be 3 months and completed in the fall. Also along those same lines, when I was talking to them, I asked them about finishing the wire transfer on Route 276, the outside of Church Street. As you know, in 2017, we transferred all our electric equipment onto new poles that were set. And so we had the new, what are they, 55s, Benny?
Yes.
55-foot poles out there. With our wires, everything's all good, and the telephone wires were still on those old 35-foot poles. I think they're 35.
30, 35.
So I talked to them last week, and they said, yeah, we can do that. So our crew went up there, the electric department, they cut all the poles off 8 feet, so the tops of the poles wouldn't be near where our wires are. And Friday, they switched everything over, and the poles are out, and it's all done. So and that's something that's good that finally happened.
Good job.
Yeah, it's just one of those little catch-up things that people forget or slips their mind. And I would suggest, while I'm on this topic, I won't be here, of course, but I would suggest that possibly next year, you might want to consider, when I was looking at the 276, there's a cluster of wires and stuff at the end of, well, where Church Street starts on Pratt Street and goes north, that's in the village. I'm not talking about where it goes out of the village, but where it goes to the village boundary, that's still overhead wires and transformers, and that should be put underground, I think. I talked a couple of years ago about the overhead wires on the Bridge Road, but we determined that's not viable to put that underground. It's all brand new Hendrix wire, and nothing's in the way to run into it, and it's just, you know, and it's clean, it's not a lot of drops off of it. So that one should probably stay overhead, but you should give some consideration into that last section up there. It's kind of I didn't realize what a jumble it is, but anyways, so just something for you guys to think about. Shuffleboard Court, the Public Works Department, or not Public Works, the
Rec Center.
the Rec Center has just about single-handedly built that whole thing up there, and they're waiting for, that's a contracted deal where Diesel Concrete Company is gonna put the forms in, pour the slab and everything. Ethan has ordered all the shuffleboard equipment, that's already been paid for. And as soon as they get the pad poured, I just wait till it cures a week or two, and then I think they have volunteer labor to stencil on the actual court on top of it, the lines and the numbers and all that stuff. And we've identified 2 spots to put 2 slabs of concrete for 2 park benches, 1 on each end. And they've dug that out. I don't know if that needs crushed stone underneath it or not, how they did it.
It's
gonna-
done. The crushed stone is in.
Did they? Have they put the forms there yet?
No.
I was gonna ask Public Works to go build a couple of forms for those two park benches. And then hopefully when diesel comes, maybe they can pour that at the same time. So that's where we
Save the
are.
village a small load charge.
Hmm?
Save the village a small load charge.
Well, yeah, or hook it on to something else we're doing, but, you
Yeah.
know, it's just easier when they're already there. So, I believe that's all I have for now. Trustee Arnold?
I don't have much tonight. I'd just like to thank Ethan and his two men for doing a beautiful job on Lake Street of the weed eating underneath all the guardrails and
Oh, yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
That's a really, really nice job that they did. We usually have the prisoners do that, but they did a good job. Also, I'd like to thank Adam and his men for doing a good job on Academy Street. They're just about done. And over on Lake Street, right on the corner where Mr. Gay had his garden, the park bench area is just overgrown by some kind of a shrub or something like that. And it looks pretty bad. It should be taken care of. Right there on the corner of Lake.
Yeah, I know.
Oh,
Where
okay.
Geraldine's place was.
Yes,
Okay, I'll ask
Ethan?
Ethan to do that,
Yeah.
to trim it or something.
Yeah. So, other than that, we get any applications for line helper?
I don't-
I think we sent out 5 applications, we got 3 back, and it just started running the MEUA.
I didn't see it in there.
Yeah. So hopefully, over the next week, we might pick up some applications from MEUA.
Okay. All righty, that's all I have, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, it reminds me too, the electric department's gonna paint the rest of the signage out in front here. Ethan did as high as they could with the Manitou, the bottom row, but they need the line truck to do the rest of them, so they're gonna do that.
Yeah, it looks a lot better at the other color.
I think it stands right out,
Oh, yeah.
stands right out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And we got the paint for free, it's leftover paint,
good.
it's the same paint we used on the building. Okay, trustee Dark,
I don't have anything this evening, thank you.
trustee Menard,
I have nothing for this evening.
trustee Gadway,
I spoke with Ethan, and he wants to set up a live stream through Live Bar of all hockey games. I'm sure we'll have it also for the figure skating. But there's membership that each individual have to pay for. There's 2 different ones, there's a basic and a premium, but they give you different options of recording taking like 30-second clips of the games and stuff. And the village would actually end up getting money off from that. They get 30% of all memberships. So it'd actually be some revenue for the village. So I think that'd be something we should do, and it actually costs us nothing. This live bar, they would come in, install it, and they would keep up all the cameras and everything.
They run it remotely.
I believe they have access to it. I don't know if they, on how they actually do it.
But you don't have to have a person manning it, it's all automatic.
I believe Ethan would be the contact with Live Bar, and then if there are any issues, Ethan would get hold of them.
it sounds like a win-win to me. I mean, they come in, they set up the equipment,
Seems like.
they kind of, they live stream it or something, and then people subscribe to it, and then we get a cut, and we don't have any upfront money on it, it just,
Yeah.
Don't we have to, are we the ones that have to generate the memberships though? That's what it sounds like in there.
Well, Ethan's gonna do that, eh?
Yeah. They can
Ethan's gonna
sign
do
up
that.
here with Ethan, it's just
They
a
have to
form
put
that they fill and mail
a
in.
monitor out the front. with-
How would that also affect hometown cable?
well, they could still be here, I guess,
Not according to this thing,
no?
where I read it. I don't know if an attorney's read this or not. I think it says in here that they have exclusive rights to everything in the building.
That'd be something
Well, check into that. We're not, I understand they're pretty well backlogged on installations because they got, you know, the COVID thing.
Yeah.
So we've got time to check into this. This just came up last week. Jason came over with it,
Right.
so still checking it out. But potentially it sounds like a win-win to me.
Ethan said it would be late September for the install.
Yeah. So we got, another month or so to figure stuff out, so.
The way I read our sentence, it says that they have all rights to, exclusive rights to the content of their camera, so I would say hometown cable could still come in and,
Should still be able to record, I would assume,
you know,
if it's.
it's
not their
just,
camera.
you can't, from what way I read it, is that he can't use, you know, if he misses a game where he's not here, he can't take their camera or whatever and put it on his channels.
Channel.
Right, if he misses a hockey game or something.
Check that.
But we can have it checked by
Yeah, I guess,
Tom Rennie, you know, just
Just
to
to
be
avoid
safe.
yourself some controversy and stuff.
Right, yeah. And I mean, if it's not written in there, we can have them write it in. I don't see where they would have an issue with somebody else coming in.
Right.
I mean, if you got a parent come in and wants to take the game, should really have nothing to do with them.
No.
And that's basically what Calvin does. So, but yeah, we can have I would have the attorney look the agreement over, but
Well, let's look it over and try to get it on the agenda for the next meeting. a couple of weeks to do some background checking and,
Have Susan take a copy of this and send it to Tom.
Right. That's all I have for.
it's all?
I have one other thing, Mr. Mayor. That door for the library.
Yeah.
I was trying to get a hold of the guy from Moore's and stuff like that. I haven't got a hold of him yet. And stuff like that, so.
I don't think that the guys are gonna wanna be working on that till fall anyway, because it's an indoor project, you know, they're
Right,
kinda,
yeah.
you know what they're doing now, they're kinda out
Yeah.
straight, so.
Mhm.
So we got plenty of time to do that, we just like to get in probably before winter, but.
Right, yeah.
I'm sure that probably is a lead time, though, a couple of weeks to order it.
Yeah, but we're looking at like putting it in Thanksgiving or something, you know.
Yeah, yeah, because it's an oddball door, it's only, not quite 5 foot high. You know, and it's pretty wide,
Right.
you know, like 4 foot wide. You know, so-
It's selling the door, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Administrator Sullivan.
Okay, you all have a copy of our reopening safety plan
Yep.
that we would like to put into effect in the main offices. And also, there's some parts of it that would apply to the work offices. This is not meant to cover the rec center just now for when you open up the hockey ice or what have you. That's gonna have to wait until a little further in the year, know what's going on with that kind of an event, and we'll need our own plan for here. But this to get the village office opened up and allowing people in. We will have people coming into the front office, one person at a time. People coming into any of the other offices at front, either do your business on the phone if you can. If not, you have to make an appointment to come in, so people won't just be wandering in and out. We have the personal protective equipment and cleaning covered. This we would like to keep as more of a living document, because as this COVID crisis evolves, things might get better, things could get worse. We might have to be able to change this pretty much on a dime. So Arsen and I will stay in touch about updating this as necessary. There's language in here that department heads can come to me for updates if something's happening in their department that they want to see addressed. And we'll be able to implement any changes in a pretty rapid manner. We'd also like to implement it, sort of beta test it in a slower sort of opening, a soft opening, not just open the doors full-time all week long. Run it maybe 8 AM to noon for the first week or so, just so that if there is an issue, we can identify it and deal with it before we go to full-time opening. Anything else, Arsen? So that's what we've got on the table right now for your approval.
You wanna make a motion to adopt this?
I would like one of you to make a motion to
I
adopt
make a
it.
motion, we adopt it.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, it's adopted.
Thank you. And also, I just wanted to let the board know what's going on with some of the reimbursement opportunities for some of the money we're spending on all of this stuff. FEMA has a reimbursement since the governor declared a disaster in the entire state. We were allowed to apply to FEMA for reimbursement of what we are spending on the glass barriers, the cleaning equipment, the deionizer, disinfectant, anything over $3,300, and we'll be able to hit that. FEMA will reimburse us 75%. So we're only gonna end up being out of pocket 25% of all of the safety equipment and cleaning supplies that we've purchased, and we'll continue to purchase through. Right now, the ending date for FEMA is September 20th, but that might end up being pushed back depending on what's happening with COVID in the state and in the nation. And another little grant I just picked up, they call it a grant, but there's no matching funds. And when it came through, they had, the North Country Chamber of Commerce had some money that if the first people who get in, they had a set amount of money, $250 each if you send them in a paid receipt for COVID cleaning products, first come, first served. So Becky Pelkey got me a receipt for $257 because it was a $250 max, we sent it in and we already got the check on that one. So we'll continue to watch and try to get money in wherever we can to help pay for this expensive crisis.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Is that all, Sue?
That is it for me, thank you.
Okay, our son?
I forgot to write the figure down, but we did get our second quarter sales tax is about 29,000 less than it was last year at this time.
Okay.
Just to let you know. That's all I have.
Okay, Mr. Cooper?
Nothing except, things are moving along pretty smoothly. Actually, things have picked up considerable, and I think people are starting to pay attention to what we're doing. I've noticed the village is doing my rides around in the morning. The village looks pretty darn good. I think I've caught up with most of the offenders and talked to them, and I still feel a few hard cases out there, and I'm sure you guys are aware which ones they are, but it's usually the same thing every year. But basically, I think we're doing pretty well.
Okay, thank you. All right, anybody from the public wishing to address the board? Okay, if not, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second?
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Yes, I have that. Absolutely. Yeah, I will be bringing that.